Hello everybody, welcome to this pick a card reading. My name is Gabby Turner, and in this reading we're going to be trying to figure out if you and your person are going to be able to make up and move forward positively. So this could be a relationship where you've had an argument or a breakup, or it could even be just a crush where you're not actually in a relationship, but maybe there's been some sort of argument or misunderstanding. And in any case, we're going to try to figure out, can the two of you kind of patch things up and move forward together? And we're going to be looking into your energies in the readings here today. There are three options. The first one says portal. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. So I shuffled and chose all of these cards randomly from the Starseed Oracle deck. Number 2 says double mission. Lightworker. Starseed. Serve the world by being you. And our third option here says weight of the world. Boundaries. Let it go. It's not yours to carry. All right, so don't try to read too much into the meaning here. This could be just totally random, although we will read the full message from this, from the deck at the end of your reading. But first of all, we're just going to see, are the two of you going to be able to make it up, make up, and move forward? All right, so go ahead and choose your option. Use those timestamps below, and I'll see you at your reading. All right, welcome to everyone who chose option number 1, which was the card that said portal, and we'll look at that at the end of your reading. So this right here is sort of the energy of the connection itself or the relationship. I'm seeing this as your energy and this as the other person's energy. So I feel that the stronger influence here is coming from the divine masculine energy. I feel that the divine masculine, and if both of you are masculine, all of us can tap into masculine energy. And this is what I'm seeing, is that it's going to take some aspect of more of a masculine approach in order to hold this together. And I think that will happen because the divine masculine is coming up under bound. So, someone here is going to be taking, or maybe both of you are going to be taking some more masculine approaches to holding this relationship together. It could be through, being very direct, being very, taking a lot of initiative, being assertive about, like, we need to work this out. We need to come to a conclusion. There could be, with a third party card as well, like maybe there's an issue with people outside of your all's actual relationship that are affecting this in some way. So that doesn't have to necessarily be like that someone is cheating or interested in someone else. It could be, there could be disagreements with friends or family members that have caused the two of you to disagree or have some sort of awkwardness or something like that. But I feel like someone wants to utilize their masculine energy here, and or it could be both of you are wanting to use more of a masculine energy here and be assertive about, like, we have to stay together. I think, this is shared energy, the center column. I think both of you really do want to stay together, and it seems that both of you are willing to sort of, take the initiative to make that happen. But there's going to have to be some sort of conclusion regarding a third party in order for the two of you to continue to be bound together. Now, I'm not necessarily seeing this bound card as negative, although it does remind me of the Devil card. It does show me here that neither of you are going to be letting go of this. I mean, I feel like a strong sense of determination. I'm going to pull one more card from the Romance Angels deck for the center energy as well. I've already kind of pre-shuffled this, but... Okay, true love. I mean, like, this is the shared energy, right? You all really want to stay together. There is a strong sense of determination here. I want to clarify, like, this bound card, and we get deception. So it could be that both people want this to stick together so much that they are willing to maybe hide certain things, like not tell the whole story. That doesn't mean, it could be that people are hiding their fears even. Let's see, what is being hidden here? Could be people are hiding their feelings, their fears. They could be hiding the fact that they've had other conversations with other friends or family member, if friends and family are the third party here. On your end, we have the Queen of Wands. On their end, we have the Queen of Swords. I feel like this person is feeling like there is a toxic energy here. And I'm reading this as more of their energy, that they are very emotionally connected to you, and they're feeling their emotions very strongly, but they feel that perhaps your behavior is unnecessary to a certain degree, that you might be just attention seeking or something with the Queen of Wands card. And I feel like they really want the truth. And they also want you to cut out any sort of behavior that is, overly dramatic or attention seeking. Now, on your end, what you might be hiding is that you could be just focused on very practical concerns here. I do feel like there's a shared desire to stay together. But Virgo is also going to think about, like, where is my harvest going to come from? And the Queen of Wands is someone who knows that they do have options. This third party card did come up here as well. Like, you probably know that you are an attractive person and that you have options. And you may not be telling them that if this didn't work out between the two of you, that, you would still be willing to look at other options, because I feel like you're being very practical. But on their end, I think that they're more emotionally attached to it specifically working out with you. But at the same time, they really want to cut the bullshit. And they feel that there is some sort of bullshit. And I do feel, because we have the Three of Cups, that bullshit has something to do with other people or another person outside of the two of you. Again, this could be a friend or a family member or something, but they feel that there's something that they don't like here. All right. So on your end, in terms of working it out, we get the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I really do feel like you are probably still open to other options, So maybe this is just a crush and the two of you are not in a relationship. Or even if you are in a relationship and you're broken up, you're really just being practical and saying, you know what, I'm not going to resign myself away to just being single and lonely forever. If another option comes along, why shouldn't I be open to it? And their end, that we have the Queen of Cups, which goes along with this Cancer I Feel card, and the Moon. Oh my God, this person is so completely in their emotions. They couldn't be feeling more strongly attached to you. Because this is kind of a clingy energy, and it's a clingy energy, and they might actually be hiding some of their anger, with the Queen of Swords representing what they're hiding. They could be hiding some of their anger because they're so intent on holding on to you that they don't want to tell you how they really think about some of your behavior. So what is the guidance here for people who are wanting this to work out? I mean, what's going to be needed? What is going to be necessary in order for them to be able to work this out? I think that what you can do from your end is maybe to help this person understand that it's okay for them to speak their truth. I feel that you're open to it. I think that you would actually rather know the full truth. So if they are critical of certain aspects of your behavior, instead of hiding that and holding it back, you would rather have the honest truth. But with the Six of Pentacles here, you might have to help them understand that it's okay for them to express their truth, that they don't have to pretend. They can put up their own set of boundaries and say, I can't stand it when you do X, Y, or Z. So you may specifically have to tell them, like, hey, if I have an issue, I'm going to be open about it. And I really hope that if you have an issue with me, that you feel that you can be open about it. It's like they're a little clamshell. They're so scared of losing you. You're going to have to loosen that clamshell up. This is if you want to keep this, which I imagine you have some interest in that because you're watching this reading. Let's get some astrology cards as well. What's going to be necessary in order for these two to figure this out and stick together? I also feel, I know that, it's sounding like a lot of the pressure is going to you here, but like we saw in the beginning, if you really want to keep this, you're going to have to be using more of a masculine approach, which is you're going to have to assert yourself and just be quite direct and not beat around the bush. You will have to communicate very clearly that you do want them in your life. They're going to need to know that. And this openness and honesty is going to give them a greater sense of security so they don't feel this fear that they can't be truthful about all of how they're feeling. All right. So if that happens, what is the likelihood that these two will stick together? And then we're going to see what's it going to look like after that, Is the relationship going to be improved or what? The likelihood that they will stay together. Yeah, I feel absolutely the two of you will stay together. We have the Hierophant over here. I feel it's almost like you have to be a little bit of the teacher for this person to show them how to open up and be honest and direct. And I think that if you do that, they will learn how to be more balanced and say, oh, okay, just because I want this person in my life, that doesn't mean that I have to, hold back my actual criticisms. If I have a criticism that is justified, I need to air it. Showing that you're eager to hear their true actual thoughts about things is very helpful to them. And it very cohesively, I feel, does hold the relationship together. And I think that, again, it seems like it's going to be, for a lot of you, more your energy that will be holding it together. But, I mean, the reading can be reversed, Let's see, what's the likelihood of them holding it together? I feel a lot of excitement. I feel like on your end, you're very gung-ho, like we saw over here that you were willing to consider other options if it came to it, but I don't think it's what you really want. I think that you are really excited about this working out. And for you, it feels like a really wonderful opportunity for both of you. But it's really great. And I think that you like seeing this person open up more and be more honest about what they really think and feel. So what's it likely to be for these two once they've moved past this conflict or breakup or whatever it is? I do feel like things will be very different, but with a lot of stability. And I feel like this is a stability that is going to show the two of you that you can withstand further changes. So if issues come up in the future, which always they do in any relationship, I think the two of you have learned that you can hold it together through that. I feel in particular this person is going to change a lot as a result of this. Their whole perspective of what a relationship is and how they should approach a relationship to both their benefit and their partner's benefit will be extremely different after this. You know, like they may even come across a little bit as a whole new person. Now, I don't think that you have a problem with that because you're coming through as the Queen of Pentacles and the 10th house, you know, the world on this deck, it's calling it. But I think that you feel a very strong sense of having a future with this person and a strong sense of stability with them. So I actually think that you are proud of them for flowering and blossoming and opening up and, you know, being ready to embrace a new phase of a relationship and all of what a relationship can offer them. That although, you know, they might tend to be self-sacrificing, they can maybe approach that in a new way in which their needs are also getting met and seen. I also feel like there's something that's going to be quite different going forward about your all's communication with each other. This person is definitely going to be far more open in their communication. They will not be holding anything back. And sometimes there may be sometimes where you feel like you've created a monster. You're like, oh my God, you know, like, you know, they don't have to be that honest about everything, right? But overall, the Judgment card does indicate that it is a positive change. It's a positive change that can be unsettling, you know? It's like when you graduate, you know, it's exciting. You've reached a new stage in your development, but there are new challenges that come with that new stage as well. And that's the feeling I get here, you know, that, okay, like we're at a new stage in our relationship where the communication is very different. This person is feeling a lot more confident about expressing themselves and even just being them true selves with the Sun card and Knight of Pentacles reversed. They feel more free to just focus on themselves and maybe be a little bit more selfish even. Or go out and have fun with friends and not worry about it so much, you know, like understanding that that's not being disloyal. But there's some times when maybe you're feeling a little bit left alone. You're like, wow, this person has like blossomed into some sort of party animal. And, you know, it's like you're proud of them, I feel. Yeah, you're really proud of them, and you understand that this is a strength that you sort of helped them to understand that it was okay to tap into within a relationship. But at the same time, yeah, it is that like, oh my God, I've created a monster type of energy. All right, so is there any advice to group one about how to handle that or anything else here? So we have Wheel of Fortune and Two of Cups. I think that you already know that you're very fortunate to have met this person because the two of you really are a very good match and there is so much love here. And I think that there is a tremendous amount of understanding between the two of you, you know? And it's like, I think that level of understanding has been there since the beginning. So you already knew this, but I think that level of understanding will deepen even further through learning better communication skills as a way of getting through this conflict. So it's very positive. And, yeah, I mean, I think that your guides are just saying, like, that overall this is a positive change. You know that the communication is very healthy between the two of you and the way that you learn to grow in your communication with each other through this. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, they appreciate the positive, appreciate how great this relationship is. And I'm also getting a message about maybe thinking about other times in your life when you would have been more willing to force a relationship that wasn't quite as compatible just out of your own neediness. And you're at a place now where not only, you weren't approaching it like this at all, even from the beginning. I think this person kind of was. You are compatible, but they were trying to sort of force it a little bit by not being totally true about how they felt about everything. But you've both grown. You in the past would have been more willing to force it with someone that you weren't compatible with. Now you've found someone you truly are compatible with, and it's just so much easier. And on their end, they've grown in that they don't have to stifle themselves and stifle their true thoughts, which is also quite positive. All right, so we have the portal card here. And I just want to see what it says. Maybe it will relate to this love connection. Maybe it will just not connect, but it could be just something else that you need to hear. Okay, doors are opening. You decide. Rewards, wild card. And I feel like this was kind of your approach to this relationship to begin with, because you wanted this to work out, and it looks like it is going to. But you understood that you have more than just one possibility ahead of you at the same time. All right, doors are opening for you. Your thoughts are extra powerful for you right now. Planets are aligning. The timing is right. The universe is saying, yes, you have the Midas touch. Your hard work is being rewarded. This is a time when you can reap the rewards for efforts made in the past. It's also a time when you can achieve a lot. Great leaps can be made. Extreme transformation can occur. Great distances can be traveled in a short space of time. You're swimming with the cosmic current of life. What experience would you like to have? What do you want to create? What new adventure would you like to manifest? Don't lose focus. Use this moment in time wisely. Be conscious and clear with your emotions and thinking. Projects that you've been working on are coming to fruition. Things are in full bloom. It's time to take your harvest and taste your well-earned fruits. When this card comes up in a spread, it's a sure sign that effortless change is possible. If you've been looking for a sign, this is your portal into that new reality. Now is the time to make big changes. If you've been guided to switch things up, you're extremely well supported right now. Use this energy and jump right on in. Starseed Soul Inquiry. What would you most like to experience? So yeah, I feel like you can have everything you want and more, from this relationship, from life as a whole. The world is your oyster right now. And I feel like it is partly because you are so aligned with what the universe already wants for you, which is a healthy relationship where, both parties are equally willing to be open and honest and feel comfortable doing so. And the fact that you would encourage your partner to feel that they that is acceptable is just a sign that you are very aligned with, I think we had this card before, true love, like this is a sense of like, I love you enough that, I'm going to do what's best for both of us. And if that means that I need to be open to hearing criticisms, then that's just what it is. Like I care about you enough that I need you to feel safe and secure enough to do that. And I feel like the universe is just really proud of you and supporting you and saying, that's great, and because of this, energetically, other things are lining up for you as well. So this is a great time to just kind of like make a wish or, just go for it. Whatever it is that you're wanting to make happen in your life right now, the energy is very supportive of it. So overall, that's a really wonderful message. I really hope that was helpful, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, welcome everybody who chose option number 2, this double mission card. We'll look at that card's meaning at the end of your reading, but first let's look at this spread that I've laid out. So these cards in the middle are kind of like the overall energy of the connection. So, the point of this video is that you've had maybe an argument or a breakup with someone, and you're trying to figure out, can we make up? Can we move forward together and figure this out? I'm seeing your energy as represented by the solar eclipse and their energy as represented specifically by Aquarius. So I do get overall a really positive energy. I also had the Justice card was mixed up in my astrology deck, so it wanted to come out. So I do feel like, like I won't make you wait till the end, but I think that the answer is definitely yes. The two of you will figure out some sort of solution and you will be able to figure this out. So the first card I pulled here was Winter as I was pulling these 4 cards. And sometimes this card makes me feel that there's a sense of hardship. I mean, obviously there is, if you all have had an argument or something like that, there's hardship. But I felt like when I first pulled it out, it just reminded me of Christmas and like the promise of winter, regardless of whether you celebrate Christmas, like that just kind of like bright, happy, positive energy of celebrating like winter holidays is what the card initially made me think of. So I do feel like there's a very promising energy here. And yeah, and I think also like on this person's end, they definitely recognize, I think both of you recognize that this is a very special connection, but we have twin flame on their side. Recognition is a shared energy. On your end, we have contemplation and revolution. So I feel like you're probably taking this a little bit more hard than they are. I mean, I feel much more optimism here, because Aquarius can kind of like look ahead and see the future sort of, or they can kind of see how things are going to play out or what the likely scenario is. And I feel like that they understand that whatever happened between the two of you, it was something that needed to happen in order to fulfill the greater potential of this connection. Both of you definitely recognize the love. I feel like that is strongly on both sides. You equally recognize that there is love here. But I think on your end, you're more uncertain of what's to come than they are. They feel positive that the two of you can work it out. And I also want to get a card from the Romance Angels as well for the central energy. Okay, we get children and true love. Wow. I don't know if the two of you have children together or one of you has children. Maybe this maybe this person has a sense that the two of you are meant to have children together, or that or they could be thinking like, of course it will work out because we have children, like whatever the situation is here. Maybe even the argument was about children or something. I don't know. I just feel, I don't want to read too much into what this children card means, but like it is saying that seems to be, and look how much love we have. We have 3 cards with couples embracing. I mean, there's a lot of love here. I do feel that there is some important reason for the two of you to be brought together, and it wouldn't be for you to just break up and for it to all end. Now, the Justice card is coming up here at the top, so this could be, there could be even legal matters that are going on that relate to children. I don't know, or maybe one of you is divorced and has children from a previous relationship. I'm not sure, but it feels to me like whatever is going on, you're having a very hard time with it, but I think you're trying to stay positive. And I think that they're the one who's kind of holding space and, holding that positive vision for the future for the two of you. Eclipses are just a very difficult energy, generally speaking. I mean, they do bring about necessary changes in our lives, especially if an eclipse makes a strong aspect in your chart. But here, we just have the symbolism of it. I feel like whatever happened between the two of you, it's really causing you to like really think deeply about your life. And let me ask more about this. We have 6 of Pentacles. Maybe you're wondering if you have what it takes to be a parent. Or you're just definitely concerned about the well-being of children, and or worried if you have what it takes to be a parent. I don't feel like this person has that level of fear about these issues that you have, though. Because again, on their end, it keeps coming forward like they don't see that that's going to be difficult in the same way that you do. What do your spirit guides want to tell you about whatever it is that you're contemplating, whatever it is that may be fearful for you? So we have the Knave of Wands, we have the Sun, again, another couples embracing card, and the 3 of Wands. I feel like your spirit guides want to remind you that this person took a risk on you in some way. With the 3 of Wands, they put themselves out there in some way in order to have a relationship with you, or in order to see some sort of growth in your connection. They had to take some sort of risk. And that wasn't easy for them, because it's not easy for any of us to take a risk, to risk being rejected or whatever it is that this risk was. They just had to cling to their own faith and their own sense of optimism that, I think it's meant to be with group 2. So, and I really care about them. I feel so much potential happiness here with the Sun card. I feel like I need to go ahead and take this leap of faith. And I think most likely the results of it will be positive. With the Knave of Wands, I feel like your spirit guides are saying, this may be the moment when you're the one who has to be a little bit more willing to take that risk. And if you need to take time to think and contemplate before you do take that risk, that's fine. But I think that they don't want you to allow your fears to get the best of you. And they certainly don't want you to use your fears as an excuse to run from this relationship or to try to hide your true self. They really are wanting you to face your fears, I feel, is what your spirit guides are saying. If you want this connection to work, if you want the two of you to make up or, whatever the situation is, to like move forward together harmoniously, move past this moment, you're going to have to face your fears. What else does Spirit have to say? What is necessary in order to allow this connection to move forward? Allow these two to move forward together. I do feel like this person probably really wants, because we have fourth house roots and we also had the 10 of Pentacles coming up on their side. So there is a sense of like wanting to establish a family with you. Maybe that's scary for you because we had the children issue coming up. Maybe the idea of having children is kind of scary and you need time, I think that, if the two of you aren't actually in a relationship yet, I think the advice is that you don't have to jump into anything. Like, take your time. Again, we have two couples embracing each other. Even though this says 11th house friends. Oh, actually, there are 3 people here. well, anyway, I didn't see that person's face. But, I think that they're saying, like, if you need to take your time and have this be, a friendship that grows over time, if that's what you need in order to continue to move forward here in a way that allows you to feel safe, then do that. You don't have to rush into some sort of major commitment. If the two of you are in a relationship, I feel like the answer is that one really good way to overcome your fears is to maybe confide in your friends about certain issues that are causing you to be fearful. So, for example, maybe you don't feel comfortable telling this person, why you feel so scared of having children or having a family together or whatever the issue is. I feel like there's some issue of fear and there's some issue related to children. But in any case, I feel like drawing upon the strength of your friendships is going to help you to figure out how to move forward in a way that suits your needs best. Because you shouldn't have to compromise your own emotional security to the point that you constantly are fearful, but at the same time, you're going to need to overcome your fears to a certain degree. It's like a little bit of both. If you're terrified of doing something, then it's not fair for someone to expect you to do that. But at the same time, if you're just running from all your fears instead of facing any of them, that's not healthy either. I hope that that's making sense. And I feel like drawing upon the support of your friendships is going to be really helpful. You do need to find people, and if you feel like you don't have friends, you can always find support in some sort of online support group or something, find some sort of support group on Reddit or some other online space, maybe, but I feel like you need to share your emotions with someone. And it needs to be in a way where you feel like you're getting some sort of emotional support to help you understand these fears that you're having. That's really the best thing that you can do from your end of it in order to help give this the best possible chance of working. Although I do feel, like I said from the beginning, the Justice card is telling me that I feel like this will definitely work out. The two of you will make up or resolve this conflict or whatever it is. And I think on this person's end, what's going to be required of them is for them to be very understanding of your fear. They might have to, if there's something that you're just not, some fear that you're having, they might have to, use their intuition a little bit. Use their intuition to kind of understand, like, that you are not going to be able to be rushed into something, that something here is causing you to be fearful and you're not quite ready for it. And they need to understand that so that the two of you can transform and grow and evolve to the next phase of this relationship in a way that isn't, traumatic, Let's see what else. So let's ask, once the two of you have worked through this and you've gotten beyond whatever this particular hurdle is that you're currently facing, what are things going to be like then? Once you've gotten past this solar eclipse period that you're going through together, what is it going to be like then after it? We have the Magician on your end. We have the Emperor in between. And we have the Strength card. Well, my feeling here is just kind of because of the imagery and the Pluto that we had before. I feel like almost this person will gain a deep insight into your psychological hangups, your psychological quote-unquote issues, like the stuff that we all have lurking because of maybe painful experiences we've had in life. Sometimes fears come from somewhere and we don't even know necessarily what the root of them is. But in any case, I do feel like on this person's end, the change for them is that they kind of understand your psyche much more than they did before. And I think that they will come to understand why certain things are painful for you. I also see them being able to gain an ability to be a soothing presence for you. On your end, we have the Magician. I feel on your end like a sort of growing confidence in terms of how you show up in this connection, how you show up in this relationship. And it's almost like you having the ability to decide what feels safe for you to share and what doesn't feel safe for you to share, and being very confident in, holding that line wherever it feels safe for you. Just because you have a relationship with someone or, you're growing a romantic connection with them doesn't mean that you're going to feel safe sharing everything with them. And with this Magician card, the sense that I'm getting, I think it's partly because of the snake imagery and the color red here, is like just a sense of like feeling rooted and grounded in your own sense of security. It's a secure sense of self, a stronger sense of self-worth and ownership over, what, if I want to communicate something that comes from deep within, I feel like I know how to do that now. But if I want to just rely on my own self and contemplate it in my own time without sharing it out loud, I feel confident in my energy to do that effectively as well. If I want to share it with a friend, I feel confident in my energy to do it that way. So strong sense of confidence. And there's even this spiral here around her solar plexus chakra, which has a lot to do with confidence. I actually feel with the Emperor card in between, like both of you have a much stronger confidence regarding this. This person was already pretty confident that the two of you would work it out and that the future would be, positive between the two of you. But I think that your all's confidence in how you approach the relationship does seem to become much stronger going forward. And I don't know why, but for you guys, I feel like using this unicorn deck as well. Something here that your guides want to tell you about this connection going forward. I feel like your guides sense happiness for you, but I think that they know that it's difficult for you to experience happiness. Maybe there's a part of you that feels like you don't deserve happiness. I get a strong sense of sorrow on your end. I think that this person wants to bring you happiness, and it is a little bit difficult for them when they realize, as they get to know you more, they're realizing also maybe how difficult it is for you to be happy, or to remain happy, or to be open to happiness, or feel that you deserve happiness, or just, to be treated in a way that is positive. I think your spirit guides do want to tell you that it's a little bit difficult for this person. It reminds me of something. There's this term called secondhand trauma. It's like when you learn more about someone else's trauma, even though you didn't experience that trauma yourself, it does become difficult. And there can be almost like maybe a lesser feeling of trauma for you just knowing that someone has gone through an especially traumatic event in their life. And I'm feeling like you may have been someone who has gone through something traumatic. For there to be so much fear here, it feels like it's coming from somewhere. This person is definitely willing to be strong enough to understand what it is that you've been through. But it will change them, and it will not always be easy for them either. There's a sense of secondhand trauma, and you're not meant to feel guilty about that. I feel like what they're trying to say is they want you to understand how beautiful it is for this person to be so willing to show up for you in that way. Because I feel like maybe you haven't always experienced that. Oh, and I do feel like maybe there's a core of friendship, because this is the second time that friendship has come up here. There's like a deep core of friendship in this connection, even though it is a romantic connection. And that's part of what I think allows this person to show up for you in this way. I feel like this person is either they have, or at some point they may start to develop a little bit of a fear themselves that they have to face, that they're afraid of hurting you, which I don't think that they're going to do, but I feel like they are going to become aware of some trauma that you've experienced, and it's going to affect them in the sense of, I have to be careful with group 2. They're so pure, they're so innocent, and some sort of innocence is reemerging in them because they're going to see that you seem to be healing. But I feel at the same time like they have to face their own fears, and I think that their love for you is so powerful that they're willing to do that. Facing a fear that they could maybe re-traumatize you or something. Wow. The two of you have definitely had past lives. There's a very strong connection. We even saw twin flame, and whether you are twin flames or not, I mean, the twin flames do often have multiple lifetimes together, and I feel overall that this is healing. It actually brings healing to both of you through this person also, through their connection with you, facing this sense of polarity. They have to look at their shadow and say, wow, because I feel like they see how tender you are underneath because of what you've experienced. And it causes them to have to be more aware of their own shadows so that they don't accidentally hurt you, because they definitely do not want to. It brings about a beautiful healing energy, I feel, for both of you. And so that's what your spirit guides want you to see. They want you to see the happiness and the joy of that, of the fact that, you being willing to face your fears and know that you're lovable and that you can be open to this person loving you. And maybe that's why the children card came up. Maybe this is some trauma that you've experienced in childhood, and that's what has brought you these fears. But in any case, it's beautiful that you're willing to open up to this person, and it's beautiful that they're, I think, understanding your need to be treated cautiously, and carefully. I do feel also, this is going to be a very prosperous union. The two of you as well, with prosperity and abundance. You're going to have a very enjoyable experience together overall as you move forward from this. And feels like you're going to have good money together, sometimes like a couple gets together and they just are able to bring that into each other's lives. It's the energy of the love they share or something, like it brings in, it just brings them money, or it maybe makes the process of earning money feel more lighthearted because there's this base of love supporting each of you. Something like that. All right. So let's read this card. Double mission. Lightworker starseed. Serve the world by being you. All right, let's see what this message is here to wrap up the reading. Lightworker starseeds are mission, let me make sure this is focused, are mission and purpose oriented. Many have the feeling that time's running out and there's something they came here to do, create, or contribute. They're here to grow as souls individually, that's their individual mission, and also to contribute to the planet in some action-oriented way, a collective mission. Their collective mission is often answered through a career calling or by devoting their life to something bigger. Until they remember their collective mission, it can feel as if something's missing or that they're forgetting something important. It's common for light workers, starseeds, to feel that they're different, and they may carry soul memories of being visible or sharing their voice. As such, they may protect themselves by dimming their light in order to fit in, or by spending time in some sort of closet, such as a spiritual closet, or just spending time in isolation from other people. If you pull this card, you're being called to remember your collective mission and step into it even more fully. You're being reminded that your role as a light worker is to light up the world with your presence. This doesn't have to be a great big thing or a decision you need to make. You also don't need to have a great big plan. If you resonate with being a light worker, all you need to do is work out what lights you up, your passion and joys, and keep doing that. When you trust and follow the simple path of things that light you up, and then lose yourself in the doing of those things, you'll light up the world without even trying. How can you serve the world by being you? So I feel like the reason this message has come through is that the two of you are capable of loving each other in such a way that you give each other sort of like the spark that is necessary for each of you to understand more and more fully how to do this. How do I serve the world just by shining my own special light and being in a place of enjoyment and personal fulfillment? Well, this is a really beautiful reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that it was helpful. All right, and we have a little fly joining the reading. I have lots of summer flies in my home, but I'm seeing it as a positive omen here. All right, guys, so thank you again, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, welcome to everybody who chose option number 3, the card that says Weight of the World. We'll look at that card at the end of the reading. So first, let's just try to figure out, like, what is the current energy between the two of you. This reading, of course, is geared towards finding out, are the two of you going to be able to make up and move forward together? So this I'm reading as your energy on the left. This I'm reading as their energy on the right. And this is sort of like the overall energy that the two of you share here in the middle. And what I'm getting first of all is that I feel like this is maybe sort of a power couple type of dynamic, because I do feel like both of you are very career-oriented people or just like purpose-driven people. But on your end, we have fire and Capricorn. So it almost feels like very entrepreneurial to me, or, just that you are very driven in terms of creating something of lasting value in the world, contributing some sort of legacy or creating some sort of major achievement. You feel very ignited in order to do that. And on their end, we have artist and Uranus, genius. So this person could literally be some sort of artistic genius. Now, keep in mind that for some of you, these energies could be switched as well. So if so, you can take it that way. But yeah, I mean, it feels to me like it's very important for them. Again, being an artist, of course, is a career, and they are very intent on, like maybe mastering the genius of their artistic craft in some way. All right. So in terms of the energy that you all share, we have patience, nostalgia, balancing the scales, and lessons. So I do feel kind of what I'm getting here is that there's a little bit of, there's obviously a need for patience right now, because I think that with the nostalgia card, it almost makes me feel like there's anger. There's like a nostalgia related to anger, as in their anger seems to have occurred throughout this connection or relationship more than once, or there's just a strong memory of anger here. But I feel because this hand is like a clenched fist with all this red energy, it feels very angry, but it's holding this bright, sparkly heart. So I feel like the anger came from a place of romantic love or romantic passion. In other words, it's almost like the fact that one of you was capable of getting so angry about something related to this relationship or connection may have made you realize how strong your romantic feelings were. In other words, like, how would I even know that I felt that strongly if I didn't have this anger? Or how would I have this level of anger if I didn't feel strongly for this person? Does that make sense? Anger obviously is not a requirement for love, but it could have been sort of an indicator here of, oh, my feelings must be very strong here because I'm feeling angry about, the way that this relationship is developing or something like this. But I also feel like there could just be a sense overall that the two of you have to learn how to deal with anger. This could be a type of relationship where where you guys just really tend to trigger each other. I mean, sometimes that's the case, like the more we care about someone and the more they care about us, sometimes we get close to people and we really know what buttons to push. Or sometimes we just push each other's buttons and we don't understand why. And we have to learn that lesson. So I do feel like there is a mutual desire, because this balancing the scales and lessons is telling me that both of you do have a mutual desire to figure out how you can be more patient with each other and maybe not express your love so much in an angry way. I think that you both see that that is very necessary. Okay. So I'm not sure why. It's interesting to me. Oh, I'm going to pull another card here for the middle energy. I'm not sure why that initially the two of you are showing up as being like career-oriented or purpose-oriented. But maybe that will make more sense as we go along. I suppose it's just that it does affect the relationship dynamic in some way is the reason why it's showing up here. Okay, we have true love. All right. So I think that both of you recognize how strong the love is. It just happens to be that the strength of your love also seems to fuel some sort of passion. Okay, so why are we seeing, like, what does this mean to the connection? The fact that they're like a power couple or that they're very career-oriented, what is this trying to tell us? I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, what does it mean for the question at hand? Like, okay, we have death, 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords. Well, one of the things it's telling me, let me clarify this death here. We have Fool and 3 of Swords. Wow. I think, first of all, just reading the middle energy, I think that maybe both of you are lacking in awareness sometimes of the degree to which you're causing pain in each other. Or, like, someone could be acting out with anger and you're just seeing it as anger, but really the root of that is pain, like really deep pain, like it's hurting a lot. Now, the Fool card is on your end, so it could be a little bit more you that's not aware of their level of pain. Maybe you really just think that they're angry, but that anger does seem to come really from a place of pain. But I also feel like it could be both of you not understanding that. I feel like overall that it seems like one or both of you are presenting yourselves as very confident and in charge and powerful. Maybe that is what it has to do with your careers. You're both are very career oriented, and that could be a skill set. Being able to present yourself as very confident and in charge is helpful in your career lives. But maybe you've gotten so used to embodying that energy and putting up this King of Wands, like, I'm in control, I'm in charge, I'm the boss of my life. It feels like maybe it's not working as well when it comes to your relationship to each other. For your careers, it works. For the relationship, it feels like maybe, one or both of you is trying to be the boss of the other. And it could even go back and forth. On your end, we have the Death card, which, can relate a lot to me to power and control issues, especially in a little bit more of a psychological sense. On their end, we have the Five of Swords. This can be someone who picks fights also to have a sense of control over things. This can also be someone who always has to be right about everything, and they don't ever want to lose any sort of argument. Now, that kind of bravado could work very well when this person needs to, defend their artistic integrity or stand up for themselves when they are explaining their artistic vision, or, if they're in some sort of collaboration, asserting themselves with other people so that they don't get lost in the shuffle, something like that. It could come in handy. You, with the Death card, knowing how to have a strong influence. The Death card, because to me, so it relates to the sign of Scorpio. Scorpios can have a very strong influence over people, even though their use of that influence sometimes can be very subtle. It's almost like a psychological manipulation that can happen sometimes. You can probably lead people to do things that help you to succeed in your career, in a sense. And that's great. That's great in order to, help you to get ahead in your career. But again, it just is not seeming to work here for the relationship. And I feel like, even for you, it seems to be with the Ten of Swords causing you a lot of pain to try to always have to come across as so powerful. That's another thing with the Death card. Like, you may feel like you always have to show up and own it and be like, boss energy, I'm in control, nobody can outdo me. I feel like it's almost painful for you to have to embody that kind of energy all the time. Maybe even in your career, it's painful for you because it's like there's a true self that's hidden within, and people are seeing this positive, kind of pushy energy on the outside, or you're able to push your aura out and take up space in a room so that you can get noticed in a way that you need to get noticed in order to advance your career. But what you lose is maybe your authentic self. I do feel like it causes you pain. It's like nobody's really seeing my authentic self. They're seeing the me that I have to project in my career. I feel like on this person's end, though, they kind of, in a way, they like the attention that they get from being like a high conflict individual. Because we have the Sun card. They do get a lot of attention for it. And it's kind of like with a little kid, when you give a kid attention when they're misbehaving, they'll continue to misbehave because it's just attention-seeking behavior. There does seem to be a lot of attention-seeking, quote-unquote, bad behaviors on this person's part. And in any case, this really seems to be overflowing into the relationship and causing problems here. So what's going to be necessary in order to keep this relationship together? What would need to happen? We have the Two of Swords, the Emperor, and the Knight of Wands. Well, I think that both of you are going to need to be true to yourselves. On your end, you're kind of like presenting yourself as a badass when that isn't really who you truly are. I mean, you probably are like a badass in a sense, but you're not a badass in the sense of someone who always has to have all the power in the room, I think sometimes you would prefer to be able to kind of sit back and be quiet and soft-spoken and maybe more passive even in your career, even in your everyday life, just to sink back within yourself and be a little bit more going within and maybe even being out of the spotlight. On their end, we have the Knight of Wands. So I feel like this person is going to have to figure out how can I express my truth and feel the freedom to express my truth, but in a way that is more lighthearted and free-spirited, rather than I always have to be the winner of the argument. I think they need to learn I can express myself. This person clearly cares about self-expression here with the Artist card and the Sun card, but they need to learn they can express themselves in a way that doesn't have to wound the other person. And with the Emperor card as the shared energy, this is just both of you being true to yourselves and, like asserting your needs. Okay, so that's what's going to have to happen. So what is the likelihood? What's the likelihood that they can figure this out? What's the likelihood that these two are going to be able to do this and work this out? Pull tarot clarifiers here. So for the water element, we've got 5 of Pentacles. For Mercury retrograde, which makes me think about the nostalgia again, that there are certain maybe even conversations that the two of you keep having over and over, or certain issues that it's like, how, why do we keep having to revisit this? Why can't we resolve it? Here we have the 9 of Pentacles. And for Grand Trine, we have the Ace of Wands. Is it possible for the two of you to work this out? I mean, I think that it is, but it feels like if the two of you do make up and stay in this relationship or continue to move forward together in this connection, it feels like it much more strongly benefits this person, because they don't really have to sacrifice much in order to bring this about. You seem, with the 5 of Pentacles, the one who's much more capable of, first of all, sensing what's needed in the relationship and being willing to be the one to kind of, make sacrifices and do the hard work here. And with the 9 of Pentacles in the middle, it feels like maybe you're going to continue to feel alone in this relationship. It just feels like, you could make up and continue the relationship, but there are issues within the relationship that just don't ever change. It could be like trying to put a Band-Aid on an open wound. It's not going to heal that open wound. So anything else you can tell this person about this connection? I mean, is there any sort of hope? I kind of feel like the best thing that you can do for yourself is, like I said, be your authentic self. That feels like super important for you overall as a message, like regardless of this connection, regardless of your career goals or anything else. Like there's this deep core within you that needs to be expressed. You can no longer hide that. With the Star card, you can have your career and still be your authentic self. You don't have to keep sacrificing that authentic self. And I feel that, finding blessings within your career do also seem to be very important to you. But as your authentic self, as your true self, there are ways to shine and still kind of like stand in the background a little bit. I mean, this is the star card, but like she's the DJ, right? So she's not in the middle of the party. She's kind of along the edges of the party. She's not in the middle of it, but she's still standing out because everyone is experiencing what it is she's doing. And they can look up, to where she's at and see her. She's very visible, but she doesn't have to be constantly kind of like in the midst of things. There seems to be some need for you to be able to find that balance as well, so that you don't always have to be like just kind of like emptying yourself of all your power all the time in order to, it's like you're trying to take up space and be seen, but that's exhausting. It isn't necessarily what you're wanting to do, and you don't have to do that because you are being seen anyway. You're being noticed, but it doesn't require so much energy output. I think both of you also need to really work on self-love. It's almost like the relationship itself isn't even really the priority here. That doesn't mean that you should necessarily abandon the relationship. I just don't feel that the relationship is going to be the source of your sense of enjoyment of life for either of you. And I think on this person's end of it, they need to learn how to be a source of emotional comfort for you more. Yeah, we have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. That is something that's going to need to change in order for this relationship to work. So will this relationship stay together? I feel like there's a good chance that it will, but the problems don't seem to be changing. And, conflict is not bad. When we have an argument with someone, that conflict in and of itself can be an opportunity to figure out how to communicate effectively and work through an obstacle and actually gain strength in a relationship. But what I feel like here is that the opportunity that the conflict presents isn't being fulfilled. There's no growth here. It's just a patching up, a broken spot. You're just patching things up. But, when let's say you have a house and you're patching up one portion of the house, and then, a few weeks later, there's a hole in this wall, so now we're going to patch that up. Eventually, the whole thing is just a bunch of patches holding it together, and that's not going to have, it's going to be very difficult for that to sustain itself. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So I think that kind of like the guidance for you right now is to really think about sustainability. The greatest message of the Seven of Pentacles is to pause and evaluate. Like, where am I putting my energy? For example, in your career, you're putting a lot of energy into being seen. But that isn't necessarily what's best for you. And it doesn't feel like it's actually making you feel good. When it comes to this relationship, you're putting in a lot of work and effort to put a patch on things. But that isn't actually, benefiting you as well. I think, a better thing would be to just continue to live your life. If you want to be in this relationship, this could just be like the background of your life for now until the two of you can really figure out how to like truly heal these ongoing wounds rather than try to put a Band-Aid on them. But the Seven of Pentacles says, let's stop wasting time, energy, and resources on things that are failing. if the boat is going down, sometimes you have to like refocus your energy. Or, in the Rider-Waite-Smith, we have a guy leaning against a garden hoe, and he's looking at his garden that he's planted, and he's thinking about, okay, which of these plants is prospering, which of them is not, which of them is bringing me the greatest harvest, and what energy is required of me to continue to bring about the best results in my life. There's a need to evaluate where you're placing your time and energy, basically. And I feel that you probably already know this, but it's almost like you could be like sort of fighting with your own self about it. Like it's like your intuition is telling you one thing, but there's another part of you, maybe fear, or you're just saying, well, the way that I've always done things is like this, and that's always worked to patch things together this way. I just feel like at some point that patching things is not going to hold things together as it has in the past. And this is just for all areas of your life. You're tying yourself up in a way that is not for your own best interest. Tying yourself up to certain ways of doing things that just wastes your energy. So I don't know how else to do it, but it is interesting that on this card it even says, weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. So let's read what the book has to say here as just a final message to you. You don't need to carry it all, and I feel like you have this pressure on you with the Death card to carry it all, to be this all-powerful person. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty and bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anyone else's, to stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders, to put on your own oxygen mask first. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can't take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. Can't take on anything from a state of energetic depletion. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others, and that's incredible. But the way you've been doing so is likely unsustainable. And I feel like that's what I was saying earlier too. This isn't to say you should switch off to the world's problems and become unconscious. Rather, it's a call to establish clear boundaries so you're not constantly taken out energetically. The planet needs you to be healthy, both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news or reaching for your phone as soon as you wake up, show up first to a nourishing practice such as meditation, soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercising in nature. Once you're in a state of grace and your inner world is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. And at the day's end, take an energetic shower by emptying out anything that's not yours to carry. You can pick it up again the next morning if you so choose, but give yourself time and space to rejuvenate and rest. What are you carrying that isn't even yours? And I feel like I need to say something here that, just because you start your day with meditation doesn't necessarily mean that now you are ready to take everything on your shoulders. You really do need to make sure that you are rested and rejuvenated. And until you really feel that way consistently, that needs to be your primary focus. And take it as it comes. Take it day by day with the Knight of Pentacles. if you're not used to putting yourself first and making sure that your own energy is, rejuvenated and stabilized, then it's going to take practice for you to learn how to do that consistently. Just like anything takes practice to learn how to do it consistently. But I feel like your spirit guides are asking you to be really dedicated to that. More than anything else, be dedicated to your true, authentic self and to really rejuvenating yourself so that your soul is full and not depleted by trying to be everything for everybody. All right, so hopefully that is making sense to you. I mean, I'm not getting a clear answer for the question at hand, which is, are the two of you going to make up? It feels like it, could go either way here. But I feel like it's almost like your spirit guides are saying, is that really the most important thing right now anyway? I feel like that's the real question. It may not be the most important thing. I don't think you're necessarily going to lose this relationship completely if you decide to put it on the back burner for now and face other areas of your life and work on repairing yourself and repairing your own energy. If you do that first, if you focus on healing yourself right now and what you need to feel fulfilled and whole and just okay, then I think that you can count on the fact that when you're ready, you will be able to face this relationship and figure out what you want to do about it. All right. So I really hope that makes sense, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best. Bye-bye.